The application appeared on Trevor's phone on a Monday. Sunday night, it wasn't there, and then today, it was installed. Trevor woke up and grabbed his smartphone, the way he had done every morning for more than a year, and he began flipping through several screens. He always checked his text messages, email, and then his notifications on various social media networks. Just as he was placing his phone on his nightstand to get dressed, he noticed there was a new icon on the home screen. "What?" he said aloud, causing his cat to look at him strangely before stretching and going back to sleep. At the very bottom of the home screen was the new launch point. Above it was all of the other apps that he had downloaded and used. This new icon was a simple black square with a yellow lightning bolt in the middle. He had never seen it before, and he certainly did not remember downloading anything new. He pressed on the square with his index finger. He held the phone in his hand, pointing it and the internal camera in an absent-minded way toward a lamp situated on the dresser across the room. There was a click, and then the screen showed an image of the lamp after a brief flash. The image of the lamp was surrounded by a black background and nothing else. "It's a new camera app," he said. "How did it end up on my phone?" He shook his head and was about to go back to the home screen when he noticed the options listed just beneath the image of the lamp. Send and delete. And then there was a button that said to. When he clicked on that, all of his various phone number contacts came up. He frowned. "So I can text the photo, right?" he said. Then Trevor caught the dresser out of the corner of his eye. He turned his head and blinked. "No," he whispered. His cat made a strange mewling noise and jumped off the bed. The spot on the dresser where the lamp had sat until moments before was empty. Trevor got out of bed and walked over to the dresser. He waved through the area where the lamp had been. "What in the—" he said. He looked down at his phone. There was the lamp. He looked up at the top of his dresser. It was definitely bare. He brought the phone up to his face and looked at the to field again. He clicked on it and entered his own phone number. Then he hit send. There was a click. There was a flash of light. The lamp was back on the dresser. "Son of a bitch," he whispered. He laughed. What the hell was this? Where had it come from? His heart was racing. He was sweating. He turned and pointed the camera at his clock radio. He pressed the button. There was a click, followed by a flash, and then there was an image of the clock radio on his phone. The image was again surrounded by the black void. He looked at the spot on the table next to his bed, and the clock radio was gone. "This is not happening," he whispered and laughed. He pointed to a spot on the floor beneath the window in his bedroom. He dialed up his own phone number and hit send. There was a click, a flash, and then there the clock radio sat, just beneath the window. He laughed out loud. "I must be dreaming," he said. He walked out into the hallway. His cat looked at him dismissively. He walked into the living room and stared at the pile of bills on the coffee table. He pointed with his phone. Click, flash. The bills were gone. He looked at the screen. There were the bills, and there was the black background. He pressed delete. There was a click, and the screen on his phone went black, and then there was nothing. He smiled. He cocked his head to the side. It was a Monday. Typically, this was not a good day, but Trevor was excited now. First, he thought, he would get into the shower. Then he would put on pants. He looked down at his phone and smiled. Then, he figured, he would see what trouble he could get into. For example, if his boss gave him crap, what would happen if he pointed the phone at him and clicked the app? Thanks for listening to When the Night Comes Out Jump Scares. Be sure to like, share, and review. You can binge our first 2 seasons of full-length stories now. Until next time, try to stay safe when the night comes out. Hey guys, we appreciate your continued support, but we also would like to create a community around When the Night Comes Out. A community of horror fiction fans who support us so we can bring you even more stories, more scares, expand what we offer, and maybe even podcast merch. So be sure to visit patreon.com/whenthenightcomesout and become a supporter. Every amount helps. We'll see you next time, when the night comes out.